I was traveling by train, returning from a business trip, and I had no idea what was about to happen to me. It all started when a group of men who were drilling for oil were surprised by a major problem with one of the drill bits. They had to stop because of the malfunction, but unfortunately, a rock fell into the hole and caused a spark. That spark set all the gases on fire. The workers had to run for their lives. And this whole event was used as an example by an extremely greedy man. This man is called Stag, and he owns Stag Industries. He wanted to use that accident as an excuse for his newest project. He wants to create a shape-shifting human being capable of transforming into any chemical element on the planet. This man would be the perfect worker. You would never be destroyed by any kind of accident, but the company's shareholders didn't like that idea. It seemed like something out of a science fiction movie. They humbled Stag and told him only to contact them when he comes up with a real idea. The man got really angry and swore that he would prove to them that his idea was perfect. He needed a volunteer, and that's where I come in. Before I was in that train, Stag spoke to one of his employees and ordered him to transport an extremely dangerous chemical compound on the same train I was traveling on. This employee was prevented from carrying the briefcase with the chemicals, and one of the train's employees had to take the briefcase to a storage area. Meanwhile, I was calmly being served by one of the train's waitresses when suddenly the train experienced some turbulence. That turbulence made the briefcase fall into the ground, and the chemicals spilled out. They created a hole in the carriage floor. Then they caused even more turbulence on the train. Eventually, one of the train's axles was completely destroyed by those chemicals. The driver no longer had control of the vehicle. I tried to help that woman, and the train ran over a truck that belonged to a poor trucker who had to stop a little further ahead down the line. Luckily, before everyone was destroyed by a terrible accident, my best and oldest friend, the Green Lantern, appeared to save everyone. Using his powers, he managed to prevent the train from being completely destroyed when it crashed into the station. As soon as I got off the train, I was very happy because I got to see my old army buddy again. We both served together to protect the people of the US of A. And since we hadn't seen each other in a long time, I invited him to know my new home in the city. We went straight to my apartment, and my friend was filled with envy. He works as a superhero, and because of that, he doesn't even have a penny to his name. I, on the other hand, have done well in life. I got a good job at a good company that belongs to the father of the woman I am dating. By the way, she was taking a shower at that moment and came out wrapped only in a towel to introduce herself to my friend the Green Lantern. My girlfriend's name is Sapphire Stag, and even though it seems like she had an affection for the Green Lantern, I can reassure you she doesn't like him. While we were talking, Batman was investigating the train accident and found that chemical element. The Dark Knight called the Green Lantern and told him that the train was carrying a shipment of extremely dangerous chemicals. Green Lantern immediately forgot about his friendship with me and began doubting my character. He was thinking that I was transporting those illegal substances, like I was responsible for the accident, but I don't even know what he's talking about. It got clear to me that our friendship couldn't last any longer. Green Lantern must be very envious. Because of that, he thinks I'm the one to blame. I told him he had to leave my house immediately, and before he left, my former friend left a communicator so I could supposedly contact him if I changed my mind. He's an idiot if he thinks that I'm to blame for all of that. In the next day, I went to Stag Industries to talk to my boss, who, as I've mentioned before, is my girlfriend's father. He was talking to his personal security guard, but I don't know what they were talking about. As soon as I entered the office, my boss greeted me very cheerfully, and I found that very strange. Although I didn't know what he was talking about with his security guard, I managed to hear that he was on the train that I was on yesterday. Because of that, I asked my boss what the security guard was doing on the same train that I was on, but he just wouldn't tell me. Surely it was that security guard who had the shipment of chemical elements that the Green Lantern mentioned, and all the blame fell onto me. My boss said it was nonsense, I should forget about that story, and even threatened me. If I didn't stop talking about it, I would be fired and would no longer have the money to afford a life of luxury that even the Green Lantern would envy. Since I had no other choice, I had to leave the office. Now I am a wimp, all because of the Green Lantern. Even though I took the opportunity to talk to my girlfriend Sapphire, I just didn't notice the boss security guard was hearing all my conversation. The man told the boss about everything. He told Stag that I was dating his daughter, and for that he went straight to our house. He brought flowers to talk to his daughter and tried to convince her to end the relationship with me, but I was already inside the house. Stag was shocked when he saw me, and I told him that I had to accept a job offer in another city, and that's why I'm going to marry his daughter and take her away with me. Stag would never be able to see his own daughter again, and I wanted him to realize that fact. He would have to swallow it all because he once dared to try and humiliate me. My plan worked flawlessly. Stag accepted that story and said that he wanted his daughter to be very happy by my side. The man left the apartment, and I thought I would live happily after that. However, the man was already planning revenge. It was at that moment that he decided to use me to create his Metamorpho worker. That night, I went to the company to collect my last belongings, but I noticed an unusual security alert on the computer. Before leaving, I had a very altruistic feeling and I wanted to help the company. I went out to investigate what was happening and found something on the floor. When I approached it, I was caught in a trap. A tube covered the place where I was in, and a kind of smoke began to come out of it. After the smoke, I was electrified, and that made me feel a lot of pain. I passed out. When I woke up, I was in a hospital. The security guard was taking pictures of me, and my boss was nearby saying that I got into an accident. Suddenly, my beautiful fiancée arrived. I was happy to see her, but when she approached me, she was so frightened that she fainted. I didn't understand anything that was going on, so I got up to look at myself in the mirror. I had a terrible surprise. I was completely transformed into a monster. I couldn't believe it. My boss's security guard tried to attack me, and I escaped his attack. But as soon as I looked at my fiancée, I became completely desperate and fled out of the hospital. While I was running, Green Lantern arrived to investigate what happened to me, and my boss managed to deceive him. I couldn't do anything about that. After all, I was in the middle of the city. When people saw me, they got scared and ran away. A poor truck driver ended up running over me with his truck. My body was completely liquefied. The police arrived soon after, and while the truck driver explained that it wasn't his fault, I managed to rebuild my body. My new abilities are amazing, but even though I beg for the help of the police, but they think I'm a monster and try to end my life. They fire many shots, and I have no choice but to run and hide in the sewers. While I was hiding, my boss and the security guard started taking pictures and captured the moment where my fiancé approached the Green Lantern to ask for help. She said I was his friend and then proceeded to kiss him. I never even once in my life imagined that could happen. When my boss arrived at the company, I was already in his office. I discovered everything he planned by reading the files on his computer. My boss tried to defend himself by saying it was all an accident, but I knew it wasn't any accident. I was ready to destroy his life, but before I could end his career, my boss said his daughter had nothing to do with that story. I let him go and asked what he was talking about. My boss then showed me the photos. My once beloved fiancée was now a shameful woman. While I am transformed into a monster, she threw herself into the arms of my old friend. I was consumed by hatred and decided to destroy the Green Lantern. After all, he just made a fool out of me. Meanwhile, the Green Lantern and the other superheroes were looking for me. They had to stop to prevent two criminals from committing a crime, and at that moment, the Green Lantern told Hawkgirl about everything that happened between the two of us. He thought he made the worst choices in life, and now, knowing this, I'm very happy, because I'm sure he was truly envious of me. At that moment as well, while the two were talking, I used the communicator to contact my former best friend. He came to the agreed upon place, and I began the attack with my new powers. His envy made him try to win over my fiancé, and that cannot be forgiven. I had no idea, but while we were fighting, my boss and his security guard were outside filming everything. My boss realized that my abilities could be used in wars, and now his project is military grade. It's worth many times over, and he is very happy about that. I managed to take down the enemy, and now when I was about to take his life, Superman appeared to defend him. He knocked me down, but he didn't know about my superpowers. I can copy any chemical element in the world, and I created a kryptonite stone in one of my hands. Superman can now be easily defeated. Soon, other superheroes arrived to defend the traitor. I took down Hawkgirl, hurling cement at her wings. As always, she was the first to be defeated. Batman and Martian Manhunter came next, but the both of them were about to taste my full power. The Martian wasn't the slightest bit of threat. He was easily taken down. Then I caused a chemical explosion that would have eliminated the both of them, but the Green Lantern woke up and managed to defend all of the superheroes. I wasn't going to give up, but the traitor used his powers to create a hole in the ground and shoved my body against the floor. Something whispered in my ears that I should go away and find my fiancé. That's what I did. I broke into her apartment through the plumbing, and when I appeared in front of her, I demanded to know why she betrayed me like that. She traded me for the Green Lantern, a man who doesn't even have a penny in his pocket, just a ring on his finger. I thought I was ready to take revenge on my fiancé, but then I was confronted by reality. My lovely and beautiful fiancé used her common sense to make me see the truth. She said she had always loved me, and everything I had discovered was a lie made up by her father. That made total sense. I was blind and decided I had to go and take revenge on the right person this time. Meanwhile, Stag Company's shareholders saw the footage of my battle against the Justice League and decided to invest in the product. Stag was very happy because he could build many more soldiers with my skills, but I appeared to put an end to his plans. No matter what the man says, I will destroy him. But before I could do that, I felt something extremely cold, and suddenly time stopped. Turns out Stag's security guard managed to freeze me with liquid nitrogen, and unfortunately, Stag himself told me that all chemical reactions stop when they're about to reach temperatures close to absolute zero. Revenge blinded me, and I was defeated. While I was frozen, my fiancé explained everything to the Green Lantern, and he promised he would rescue me. Suddenly, I simply woke up. I was being transported by two men. I was inside a car, but I managed to free myself. They tried to end my life with gunfire, but I easily defeated them, and now I can go back to revenge. Stag was in one of his warehouses. He was trying to build the chemical elements that would transform innocent people into monsters, but I broke into that place right in the middle of the procedure. The first thing I did was destroy the object that had frozen me earlier. Then I took Stag. He will never be able to hurt another person again. I destroyed the equipment that was creating the formula, but unintentionally I did something terrible. The short circuit caused by the destruction of the equipment went through the wires and reached the device that Stag was using to control those machineries. His consciousness was transferred out of his body. He is now a vegetable, and his consciousness has transformed into a monster made of the same thing as me. This monster destroyed everything and escaped. I ended up passing out, and when I woke up, Green Lantern and the Batman were in front of me. I said that we needed to stop a monster, and if we didn't, the whole city would be destroyed. Meanwhile, Stag was already in the city. He was destroying the police cars, and the Justice League superheroes came to fight him, but they didn't stand a chance. Even Superman, the invulnerable, super powerful alien, could do no damage against him. And while he was trying, I told the Green Lantern and Batman everything that was going on inside that place. That chemical compound was the same one that Stag used to transform me into a monster. Batman took a little piece of the compound to analyze it, and and Green Lantern wanted to go alone, but I told him that he couldn't do it alone. Batman agreed with me. He said the two of us should go together to the city while he analyzed those elements and tried to produce an antidote. The Green Lantern then took me to the city. Superman still couldn't inflict any damage on that monster. Stag had become a completely intangible creature. Both Superman and Hawkgirl fell into the ground. When I arrived with the Green Lantern, the hero said that nothing could stop that monster. The Martian Manhunter said he sensed the presence of a mind within the creature's body. It's completely derived of thought and driven only by desire. I knew very well what that monster desired. He wanted to find my fiancée, his daughter. That's exactly where the monster was. He went to my apartment and took my fiancée away. The creature climbed the tallest building in the city, holding my fiancée in his hands. When I approached with the Green Lantern, I bypassed the protection of his ring and attacked the Stag with my full power, but the attacks were being neutralized. Hawkgirl was defeated once again. All the superheroes were losing to a monster. Not even Superman could do anything. Green Lantern tried to fight and ended up being knocked down too. I had to save him, and at that moment, Batman contacted him. He said he managed to discover the chemical elements that would destroy the monster. The problem is that it would take 2 weeks to make the exact formula, but I knew I could replicate it in an instant. The Green Lantern didn't want me to do that because I could possibly die, and because of that, I had no other choice. I had to knock my friend unconscious and contacted Batman, who told me the chemical elements I needed. Thanks to that, I was able to get where that monster was holding my fiancée, and as a final act of love, I sacrificed myself to save the only person who truly loved me. I transformed my body into the chemical elements exactly as Batman told me, and then I threw myself against the monster's body. I released all the chemical elements inside the monster, and this caused a chain reaction. The monster dropped my fiancée, but the Green Lantern managed to save her. Then they saw when the monster exploded. I saved everyone, and my fiancée was very sad. Green Lantern told her I was a good man, and my fiancée started to cry. And at that moment, dear viewer, a miracle happened. Her tears brought me back to life, and I was able to embrace my fiancée. Thanks for watching.